This is the specific heat lab, and I have the handout out. I'd like you to kind of follow along so you can see what I've done during the setup of this lab. Going through step one, it says to record the mass of your weight in kilograms in the chart. I weighed it on a scale for you guys, and if you can go ahead and fill this in, it is 199.93 grams. It's supposed to be a 200 weight gram. It's lost some mass somewhere over time. So it says obtain a 500 milliliter beaker and place 3 rubber stoppers at the bottom. That's what I have over here. You can see the rubber stoppers. And it also says fill the beaker with about 400 milliliters of tap water, and then we set that on those rubber stoppers. It's currently being heated up to about 80 degrees Celsius. We're not trying to get this to boil. We're just trying to get a nice, hot, stable temperature. We also have the Lab Pro connected to these thermometers, and we can check those temperatures in just a little bit. We got 100 milliliters of water. So I took a graduated cylinder. There's 100 milliliters of water in this styrofoam cup. It's in the styrofoam because the styrofoam is going to prevent heat loss. It will try to retain the heat inside. We know some of it will be able to escape. We can't have a completely closed system, but having it in a styrofoam cup is going to help that. So we have 100 milliliters of water, and the lab asks us to calculate, well, what's the mass of that? Well, since the density of water is 1, it's pretty easy. It's 100 milliliters. That 100 milliliters will equate to 100 grams, or 0.1 kilogram. So we know that we have a certain mass over here. We have a certain mass of water over here. We have a starting temperature here. We have a starting temperature here. And we know the specific heat of water, and we are trying to calculate what's going to be the specific heat of that weight that is on the inside of that hot water. So that's what this lab is trying to do. It's trying to identify what is that material that we have that's being heated currently in the water. And we can calculate that by the temperature that it's going to cause this 100 milliliters, this 0.1 kilograms of water. We're going to see how much heat is going to be transferred. The heat that's lost by this is going to be equal to the heat that's going to be gained by this. So that's where we currently are, and what we're going to do is I am now going to remove this from the heat source, and I'm going to put this just on this wire mesh right here, or the wire gauze. And we want to get this so that the temperature is nice and stable, and it's not going to be fluctuating. So I'm going to stir the water a little bit to see if the temperature is going to be constant for us. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then transfer that from that container into the other one using a pair of tongs. Okay, so the temperature of the water we can also record. That is going to be 19.7 degrees. That's the starting temperature of my water, the initial temperature of water, the TB1 on your chart. What's the initial temperature of the weight? Well, we haven't quite transferred that yet. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer the weight from here to here, and then we're going to wait for the temperature to stabilize. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And I'm going to go ahead and press collect, and so we can watch this take place over time. So let's record the initial temperature of our water. Going to give it one last stir. This is just stabilizing it. Looks like it's about 78 it's dropping a little bit, 78.3, 78.2. And I'm going to go ahead and transfer the weight to the water. And it's 77.8. In it goes now into the water, and I'm going to stir that. So I've transferred the weight inside the styrofoam, and now I'm going to stir, and the heat now is being transferred. And what we're looking for is when the water and these are going to be the same temperature. So this might take a little while. You can actually, right now at this point, fast forward a little bit. I just actually removed the temperature probe. We're really only concerned with the temperature of the water. It looks like we've probably reached equilibrium. Okay, so we've reached a max now. Okay, so what we need to do now is the instructions say continuously stir the water. When the temperature no longer increases and stabilizes, highlight the plateau and press the stat button. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this plateau here, and we're going to press the stat button up here, and we are interested in the temperature for number 2. Okay, so we're getting the data from this. I think it was 30.4, which was the minimum and maximum. So looking at the temperature, the maximum was 30.57. You can go ahead and record that as the final temperature. And the initial temperature of the weight when we transferred it was up here. Okay, and this is going to be, the maximum was 78.48. And that's going to be it for now, and we're going to be doing a data analysis.